Hello everyone, this is SixMix, and today I'm bringing you a new Minecraft video. In this episode, my main goal is to head to the Nether. I'd also like to make an enchantment table so that once I get to the Nether, I'll actually be prepared. Without further ado, let's get started. As you might be able to tell, off-screen I did quite a bit of mining. Much of this area is completely lit up. I died very many times over, so I'm gonna try to play it safe, but hopefully I'll be able to get at least a little bit more experience. That skeleton's got an enchanted bow, so... I hear another one. Here he is. See, we got a leather tunic, that's good. So right now, what I'm trying to do is find some lava. Oh, hey, look at that. There's some diamonds over there that I must have completely skipped before. Ooh, and then there's some water. Okay, this is actually really cool, getting diamonds right off the bat. Looks like there's just 2 though, so not a big score, but hey, I'm not complaining. I can see some illumination over... Oh, hey, even more diamonds. Alright, let's see. You are not going to stop me. Yeah, so right now my main source of food has been carrots. Before I had a lot of steak in my inventory, but off-screen I ended up dying, and I wasn't able to recover everything. My diamonds and most valuable stuff I was able to recover. But unfortunately, the steak was one of the few things that I wasn't able to... that despawned before I could get it. Wow, only 1 diamond, that's lame. So far, I've found some lava, but I haven't found any pools of it. Yeah, these bat models are gonna take me some time to get used to. I think that they're pretty good, it's just so different from what I'm used to seeing in Minecraft. Oh no. Yeah, I do not want... Ooh, there's more diamond. Yeah, the last thing I want is to get hit by a cave spider, because those guys can do a lot of damage. I'm worried because I know that if I allow myself to get cornered, that's it for me. There he is. Okay, so let me mine this gold, and then we can grab some more diamonds. Oh, is that even more? Let's see, I think it was down this way that I... Yep. Right here. Geez, there's actually quite a bit of diamond that we're gonna find this episode. That's great. I'm gonna place these rails. Yeah, it looks like we've got 5 diamonds here, which gives us a total of 8 so far, so that's enough to make a chest plate if I actually wore armor in Minecraft. And let's see, the ones I saw earlier I think were over this way. Yeah, right here. I can see another spawner over there, so I don't want to get too close. I feel cave spiders, I don't recall their poison being as bad as witches. I know that the witch's poison can do enough damage to drain you to half a heart easily, but I think cave spiders only lasts a couple seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so we're up to 14 diamonds. This is extremely successful. Starting to get nervous because I feel like once I start collecting diamonds, I might never stop. And that's what's gonna end up making me lose it all if I get stuck down here and then get lost after I die. So hopefully we find some lava sooner rather than later. By lava, I mean an actually decent amount, not just a small puddle of it. Here we go. I think that it looks like it's just one source block. Yeah, oh well. Let's see, is there anything below it? Nope. Here we go. This is the pool of lava I've been waiting for. So in the last episode, I mentioned how Halloween was approaching, and I wasn't expecting to get any trick-or-treaters since I just don't live in that crowded of a neighborhood. But to my surprise, we actually got a decent number of trick-or-treaters this year. There were only 3 groups, if I'm not mistaken, which for a lot of the people who live in more populated areas, that probably seems like small numbers. But considering how I haven't seen a single trick-or-treater in years, I'm pretty impressed by that. For a second, I almost wondered if I would run out of candy, but luckily I had enough for everyone who showed up. It almost makes me wish that I had actually bought a little bit more of the candy, because considering how much of a treat it is to see people engaging in the Halloween festivities, I almost kind of wanted to give 5 pieces of candy instead of just the 3 that I had been giving. You know, obsidian is such a pain to mine sometimes, but it is still so much better than it was in the older days of Minecraft. I remember how, in beta 1.7.3, it feels like it takes twice as long to mine a single block of obsidian, and nowadays you even have enchantments so that you can make the process a lot quicker. The really bad part, though, was redstone. In old Minecraft, for those who don't know, redstone used to take a really long time to mine for whatever reason. I don't know if it was a bug or intentional, but it would take a good, 5 seconds or so to mine a single redstone ore, whereas all the other ores you could mine in, half a second maybe? It was really tedious, especially for me who doesn't skip the redstone because I am someone who does like to play with redstone a lot and often needs quite a bit for some of the projects I've done. So right now I think that I've got about 10 obsidian, 11. It would take only 10 to create a working portal, and 14 if you want to have it be a perfect rectangle without any of the corners missing, but I actually want to get a little bit more just so I can make it look a little bit fancy. You know, at the worst case, it could give me a decent enough thumbnail picture, and I think it would look pretty cool. So now that Halloween is over, it seems like already it's Christmas season, pretty much. You know, I see, like, the different buildings putting up Christmas decorations already, and it's just pretty interesting to see. What I'd have done if I owned a business would be put up Godzilla decorations after Christmas, since Godzilla's birthday was just on the 3rd of November, and we got a really good treat via the announcement of the next movie, which, you know, if you watched my latest mod showcase, you know that I actually got the notification for as I was in the middle of editing a Godzilla-themed video that happened to be at the point in which I was covering Godzilla -1. I don't know how the sequel's gonna be, but it's the same director who did -1, which I think is one of the best in the franchise, so I'm really looking forward to whatever comes from that. So I've got 21 obsidian now. I'll just make it 22 for a nice even number, and then I'm gonna head back to the surface. There we go. Something else I wanted to show you guys. Off screen I was mining for ores, and during that mining expedition I found this. You know, just a dungeon with 2 chests that for some reason aren't a big chest but just are facing each other. But what's interesting is what's inside. Enchanted golden apple. If I'm not mistaken, that's only like a 3% chance of getting one of those. I'm not sure how rare they are, but an enchanted golden apple this early on is crazy. And we even get another music disc, one of the new ones, which I've only heard a few times, so it'll be interesting to actually play that once I create a jukebox of my own. Yeah, as you can see, I'm really starting to run out of storage, so one of my other objectives for this episode is going to be to extend the house by a little bit. I also am going to need space for an enchantment table, so I should probably extend it out. Let's see. By 5 blocks, maybe? That seems pretty reasonable to me. You know, maybe 6. So in order to do that, I'll need some wood, which I've already got a stack of logs, so let's try this. Yeah, so I'm going to have to shift quite a bit, because I need the doors to be symmetrical. And I also want to add a second floor to the house if I can, so it'll need to be a little bit taller, so quite a bit of the building is going to have to be done off-screen, because I think that would be a lot more boring to go through the entire process, and I don't have nearly enough to talk about to make that interesting. Hero, do you want to live here with me? You can live in my house instead of having to spend all your nights alone in the wilderness. Great, sounds good. Happy to have you here. Well, before I really get going on that, I do want to create something real quick. Hopefully I don't mess up the crafting recipe too bad. Here, grindstone. Because if I'm not mistaken, you can use this to remove enchantments from items, which will be useful, because I have quite a bit of armor that I want to get rid of. So let's see, leather tunic. Ooh, that's actually quite a bit. Leather cap. Yeah, not that much experience. Here we've actually got a lot of stuff on this gold helmet. Protection 2, Respiration 2, Aqua Affinity, and Unbreaking 2. If it actually had durability, I'd almost want to actually wear that. Yeah, see, it leveled me up a lot. And then these copper leggings with Protection 2. So now that that's smelted, I can take all of the copper gear I've got here and then put that in the furnace. Then I can do the same with the gold helmet. Then I think I'm just gonna toss the leather armor down here into the abyss. Because I definitely don't want leather gear. People watching this might question why I have such an enormous disdain for armor in Minecraft. What I say is, think about it for a moment. Why do we use armor? It's because there is no other viable way to resist enemy attacks in the game. Minecraft, for many years, has had resistance as a potion effect, which could serve as a perfectly good alternative to armor. Sure, there are ways to obtain it in survival, such as using a beacon, an enchanted golden apple, or, if you're feeling hip, the potion of the Turtle Master. The issue is that each of these comes with a serious drawback. Beacons have a limited range of effect, enchanted golden apples are extremely rare, even though we actually found one somehow, and the potion of the Turtle Master renders you basically immobile. That leaves armor as the only reliable and practical way of reducing damage from mobs. So now picture a server filled with hundreds of players, which is split up into several factions. In that server there's the Kingdom of Compliance, population 100. 100 players is no small number, and when looking at such a large group of players with various skins, you get to see a rainbow of different colors, appearances, faces, shapes, and clothing. But the king, no, he doesn't like that. He puts a set of iron armor under every player under his command, and this beautiful whirlwind of colors is transformed into nothing but a sea of monochrome. Of course, the Kingdom of Compliance only makes up a fraction of the server's population, and everyone else is able to express themselves freely. That is, until the Kingdom of Compliance comes after the other factions, who are then forced to either wear armor to defend themselves, or be conquered and forced to become just one more monochrome stick added to the pile. A player's skin is an expression of one's identity. To lose that is to lose part of what makes us special. With every armor piece the player equips, they become closer and closer to being indistinguishable from any random zombie. For that very reason, I've sworn off regular usage of armor in Minecraft. Here, I see an Enderman over there. He's probably gonna beat me up, but I need to take this opportunity. Uh-oh, that almost scared me for a sec. Come on. There we go, finally. Our second ever Ender Pearl in this series. Took long enough. In hindsight, I kinda wish they had set my date to October 31st when I recorded that video for Halloween, because I actually off-screen saw a skeleton spawn, a few actually, that had pumpkins on their heads, which I think only happens during Halloween and maybe 1 or 2 days after it. And also another thing that happened off-screen is that there was actually an Enderman that ended up being inside my house somehow. I'm not sure where he came from, but I guess it must not have been bright enough in the house and he spawned there. I would have put a name tag on him, but he despawned before I could do anything, sadly. Ooh, check this out, there's a fight going on. These llamas are trying to beat this zombie. I'll help them if I can, but it seems like they got it covered. Oh. Oh, does their spit not do any damage? There we go. See, I should get a discount after that. I saved that dude's life. But nope, he doesn't care. Alright, I'm back, and the house has been remodeled. It's now quite a bit bigger, so I've got more room to store things. I'm gonna move these chests back so they're not in the doorway, but I'll do that off screen because having to sort through all this stuff and reorganize it would be such a pain. So now what I'm gonna do is create an enchanting table. So if I remember how to create one, it's 2 diamonds like this, obsidian, and a book at the top. Yep, here we go. I don't have enough sugarcane. Or I probably don't have enough sugarcane, I should check. Let's see, I might actually have enough to make 1 bookshelf. Alright, let's see if I can make a bookshelf with this. That probably won't boost the enchantment power too much, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Alright, so I got my sword and lapis. Let's see what we can get on here. Alright, sharpness 2. That's quite good. Where's my bow? This might have something on it, in addition to Unbreaking 1, but I don't know, this seems like a risk to grab that, so I'm just gonna stick with the power 1 bow. So this'll help out. And let's actually enchant the pickaxe too. Why can't I get a level 3 enchantment? That's weird. Let's see. Efficiency 1. Pretty basic enchantments, but I'll take it. So now the last thing before I build the Nether portal, I'm gonna go over there and trade with some of the villagers. As much as I want to get a lot more emeralds from trading with them, I know that raids can happen, and I don't really know how I'll be able to defend against one of them without any armor. In most cases, when playing Minecraft, I would just create a large cobblestone wall over the village so then nobody could get in, but right now I don't think that's really feasible because I just don't have enough cobblestone at all. So anyway, hey Brad, how's it going? Alright, so I'm gonna trade with him. Oh, and he's gonna level up. Let's see what his new trades are. What do you got for me? Nah, these are kinda lame. But still, it's definitely something. 4 more emeralds I'm not gonna complain about. I think I should be able to get a good, like, 5 or so emeralds from him. Let's see. And nowhere near. It costs more than I thought it would. Let's see. Are there any here that are ready to grow? I think I can use this bone meal. Oh wait, no, I do. Never mind. I've actually got quite a bit of carrots left. I wasn't paying any attention. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so what do you got for me now? Pretty much just... Oh wait, I can actually trade pumpkins for emeralds. That'll be pretty useful. I've seen houses before where they make the borders for the roof cobblestone, and I've seen it look pretty cool, so I think off-screen I'll try to experiment with that, and if it looks good, then I'm gonna keep it, and you'll be able to see that next episode. But for now, let's get to the main task at hand, which is building a portal. I'm not really sure where I want to put it. Hopefully I don't miss anything. Hopefully I don't mess this up and have to spend a lot of time fixing it. Alright, so now we've got 8 more, so let's see. I think if I just do something new like this, where it looks almost like arms and legs extending from it, that would look kind of decent. It actually looks a bit dumb now that I look at it. Well, I'll fix this off screen, but at least this will be a little bit faster with an efficiency pickaxe. Okay, so what I think I'll do instead is make it like a little field goal type thing. Just put the obsidian like this. Then once I can break down this dirt, I think it'll look pretty decent. Yeah, I kind of like it, you know, I can... If I had any eggs in my inventory, I could just try to toss one through there. See? Yet another useful way to use the water bucket. So let's activate this bad boy. It's so satisfying having an enchanted sword. See, why is there another spider here? Okay. Moment of truth. Boom. Now we've got our portal. Now, let's take just a quick look at what we've got going on in the Nether. Hopefully I don't fall into lava. Okay, so... We're in one of the, I'm not sure what biome this is. I know, but it's one of the ones that has like a blue atmosphere to it. So I'm curious to see what we'll find here. Maybe these are, I think these are called like soul valleys or something. So anyway, that's about it for this video. I probably have said this every episode, but I have no clue how long this episode's gonna end up being. There wasn't very much action in this episode. There's just mostly a lot of building and doing other mundane tasks, but I feel like we did actually accomplish a lot. We got a ton of diamonds, built another portal, got a good number of emeralds, and now have some enchantments. And what? Oh, Piero, how did you escape here? In the next episode, we're going to explore the Nether. Hopefully not die, but I feel like I probably will be blown up by a ghast at some point. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Keep on rockin'.